Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to look at, can federal fraud charges be levied against Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell in the case of Tylee and JJ? Thank you for joining me today. First, got to give you a little bit of background on the benefits that Lori Vallow was receiving for JJ and for Tylee. If you are a parent of a child and you pass away here in America, this is only for the United States. If you are a parent of a child and they are under the age of 18 and you pass away, your child can receive up to 75% of your benefits that you would receive for retirement. So if you 65 or whatever, 66, and you retire, you get a monthly amount that you've paid into Social Security your entire working life. And that is your retirement benefits through the Social Security Administration. If you die at any point and your child is under the age of 18, they can receive up to 75% of those benefits. The moment that Joseph Ryan passed away, Tylee was eligible to start receiving those benefits, and she did. A monthly deposit was made into Lori Vallow's account for the time period starting from the date that they were notified of the passing of Joseph Ryan. JJ, same thing. When Charles Vallow was murdered, from that moment on that he was pronounced dead, the Social Security Administration started sending a monthly beneficiary supplement payment to Lori Vallow for JJ. Now, JJ's a little bit different, and as in he'd receive those benefits until the age of 18, and then at the age of 18, he was started receiving what's called Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSDI. He would have started receiving those at 18. But right now, we're just looking at the payments that Lori Vallow received, the death benefits, beneficiary benefits for JJ and Tylee. Could the federal government file fraud charges against Lori and possibly Chad for what took place here? The answer is an underwhelming yes. What do they need to do in order to prove that Lori committed fraud in order to receive those benefits? And what statute underneath the federal law would actually prove that they committed the fraud? Let's take a look at that part. According to the Social Security Administration, Section 1632.42 USC 1383A reads the following. Number one, knowingly and willfully making or causing to be made a false statement or representation of material fact in any application for benefits under this title. Number two, at any time knowingly or willfully making or causing to be made a false statement or representation of material facts for using in determining the rights of such benefits, as in, this is for dependent care through the Social Security Administration, a violation of not notifying them of the passing of the child and still receiving Social Security beneficiary benefits is a misrepresentation underneath the law. And it is such noted in the next section. Next section clearly says not disclosing the passing of dependent who is receiving dependent care. So, all the Social Security Administration and the federal government would have to do is prove that Lori Vallow knew the children were deceased. That we'll get to in just a moment. The time from June when their bodies were found on Chad Daybell's farm, and the autopsy results saying that when they were actually buried and how long they've been buried in the ground, and Lori receiving benefits. You then use the actual case that they have right now that is keeping them in jail, which is 2 counts of concealment of evidence, 2 counts of conspiracy to conceal. If they're found guilty on those, that proves that Lori knew that they were dead. From that date that she knew that they were dead until she's, all the way until June, and she probably received a death benefit in July as well, because again, they're always 30 days behind. But during those months, if they can prove that the children were dead even longer, and that she didn't, even if she didn't know about it, and she still received benefits for them, for September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, and May, if she received federal disability beneficiary payments for both the children, and they were dead, and the autopsy result says that they were both deceased as of October, that's fraud. What is the maximum penalty for each and every one of the fraud charges? And they would charge them 1 month at a time. JJ for September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. It's a charge. 1 charge per month. For Tylee, same amount, same months. 9 months, 18 charges total. 1 single charge of fraud carries 10 years in prison. The average is 6.5 years per charge, according to the Department of Justice. 6.5 years. 18 charges times 6.5 years, not counting the state charges that they have levied against them in Idaho, not counting any other charges that may come from Arizona, not counting any other charges they may levy for the death of Tammy Daybell, not counting any charges that they may levy in federal court, because if they can prove that Tylee was taken from Yellowstone National Park back to Salem and she was killed there, that crosses state lines, and that is a federal charge. That's what they're looking at. Will the federal government be able to prove the actual fraud charges in this case? If they are found guilty on the state charges, Lori is found guilty on the state charges, they will have that ammunition, the federal government has that ammunition then, to then file federal charges against her. Let's just say she's only found guilty, they charge her with just 9 federal felonies for fraud from the Social Security Beneficiary Fund. They only charge her with 9. That's 90 years. If she found guilty of the maximum, let's just say she gets 6.5 years times 9. She's not getting out of prison, because she still have to do the state charges and any other state charges that are levied against her. What about Chad? If the marriage that they had in Hawaii is legal and a wedding license was actually taken out, again, making it legal, from that moment on, from then going forward, they could charge Chad with the same amount of fraud charges for receiving the benefits if they can prove he knew about it. Again, if he's found guilty of the conspiracy charges, that leads them and gives them the ammunition to be able to file the fraud charges. Will they do it? Most likely not, because you have to prove that the wedding was legal in itself. Then you have to prove that he knew and and conspired with her to continue to get the death benefits. There's a lot more loopholes in there for Chad to snake his way out of. But Lori, mm-mm. Nope, she directly received the benefits. If she's found guilty again in state court, it's easy for the federal government to prove in federal court that she actually took part in the fraud and deception to receive benefits from the time the children were killed, and then when their body was, and she still received benefits from that point on. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you stay safe out there and have a great week.